Because also in this, and I don't know if you felt it, is an appetite for spectacle. Well,
Yeah, a spectacle, yeah.
a spectacle.
Yeah.
Sports want spectacles. They want
Yeah.
the fire when the Winnipeg Jets come out.
Yeah.
Game shows want spectacles. Everybody wants spectacle now.
Yeah.
Just give me a spectacle.
Yeah.
Give me big music. Give me big
Yeah.
something. And how do we compete in that
I
world?
don't know. I believe, like, I'm on a few shows that are really about family, and I love it. I want to just, it's just, there's not complicated stories. I actually believe that the audiences want that. I do believe that there is an audience to come back to family and humanity, and
On TV, film, streaming services, or theater?
I think theater. I do think that we're, because look at the shows, like, we're looking at shows in the theater now that, I literally don't know what people are coming to right now and what they're liking and not liking. It surprises me every day where I think, wow, that show isn't getting the audience I thought they would get, or these people are just flocking, to this show. So, and that is what people are doing. They're like, what's the next this, or what's the next that? And I think what the best thing is, just try to tell a story that, I think with what happened with the pandemic is that, where did we go? We went home, right? We found those close to us, and we were isolated with the people we wanted to spend the most time with, because that's who we got to see. So if you think about that, we've reconnected, and those stories are important now. Like, I think those kind of stories speak to people. I do think that's why we do theater. We want to see ourselves in one or many of these characters. We do want to find ourselves there, right? And that isn't up to us. We put the material out there, and hopefully people find something, but we can't be too heavy-handed about that. I do think that there are people who want to see that.
I agree, and I find that dawn on the positive, because all the smaller mid theaters in Toronto are all cranking it out and doing it, but there's not the audiences. There's not the audience appetite for risk, appetite for adventure. There's an appetite for spectacle, there's an appetite for identity, there's an appetite for comfort, but there's not an appetite for risk, and I'm talking about story risk. Take me a place I've never been before. Throw me through 4 loops. I want to see Lindsay Kemp taking 2 minutes.
Well said, because that's the conversations we have every day. Let's do something we haven't seen before. And that's what keeps me up at night, Robert. That's what keeps me up, is finding that. What's that idea? That's the part of me that goes, can I? Is it? What is it? Because for every idea you have, it makes me crazy. And I think, oh my God, what a brilliant idea I just had. What an original, brilliant idea. And then, one of my designers or my lovely friends will say, oh, I saw that. That was a really, on such and such. I'm like, damn it.
Right.
Really? And so maybe it's subconscious, or, but I do think that you can always make it an original and your idea. And just the fact that other people are doing it and delivering it will make it different, right? That's why revivals still have a world and a place, and they belong. Both belong right now. I wouldn't want to see us lose our fabulous revivals, because the writing teams that wrote these musicals, like, there are some things that, especially as a woman, I find in a lot of these musicals, you go, oh, I don't think that's the story I really want to tell. We've moved forward now. Let's not go back.
Right.
So
Right.
That's, I don't, I have a daughter in her mid-20s, and I don't want to do something ever. Like, I hear her voice always in every choice I make, as a woman, saying, I want her to be proud of that choice. I want her to watch that show and feel good about herself.
Because my mother did that show?
Well, because the content, I did a show that empowers women, and it doesn't take us back to, I know. I mean, look what's going on in the world, right? We, as I said, there are so many things, and here's the thing: this is like a unbelievable intersection of we have, a global uprising of race. We have Black Lives. We have the pandemic. We have Me Too, which hasn't, gone away. But all of it's at the same time. And so everybody, whether it's your audience or people at home or artists, are all navigating this.
Right.
All at the same time. And we really do have to be very sensitive and open to
Let me add
all of it.
Let me add the climate catastrophe for that. We are going into a time of climate catastrophe. Where do we, the storytellers,
Yeah.
where do we sit as we enter this seemingly bottomless canyon we're going down?
Well, I will tell you, that definitely should have been in my list because it's coming up in every conversation of shows.
Really? How?
100%. Because there are things that refer, and we think, is that something we should be leaning into? Is this something that we should, do you know what I mean? If we're doing a show about natural history, where does that factor in? What are we, we see it differently because we are witnessing what's going on. And you know what? There's a real danger that we lose hope, right? And so where does theater fit into keeping hope? Because it's the one place we can be together and be hopeful together, rather than being in our living room alone watching. We can be together.